So let's begin. Caroline, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling more like a bitch, more like a whore, more like a saint, or none of the above? That's the secret option.
Honestly, I just cleaned my kitchen floor, so I'm a fucking saint. My brain is like either at 100 or needs to be close to zero. I've been inside the machine. I am actively sort of realigning my artist self and separating my artist self from whatever my business self is. I think in your 20s, you really um, or just in the early parts of your career, you really don't separate those things. And I felt firsthand the damage of like a business, I don't know, the business side not feeling good and letting that let the person feel bad. And that's just something I don't ever want to sort of subject myself to. I'm kind of at square one right now with how I want to move forward, but honestly, I haven't felt this like aligned in a very long time. Sort of thing where I was like, well, I'm just going to get out of this like terrible rubric that is like built for me to like fail. That's sort of what it felt like at a certain point. So, yeah, life's too short to feel bad about the thing that makes you you.
And it was confusing, and I felt bad. I was like, I think that the thing that I'm best at is like sitting in a room with somebody and writing. But if you put me in a room with somebody who makes me want to disappear, then it's hard for me to access like my gift for writing. And
We masked up. We had to like learn. I eventually was like, he couldn't tell if I liked anything. And I was like, oh, yeah, because you literally can't see that I'm smiling under here. So then I would give him the eyebrows. I'd be like, oh, yeah. Like, I would have to be like someone would be doing overdubs and I'd have to be like, you know. Yeah, I've struggled with being in the band while the band is tracking live and being able to like have the objective point of view to like make the calls that are necessary to like get my vision
yeah,
brought to life. Like I'm also playing a producer role in what I do next. That feels important to me. All artists are producing their own records, whether they're on, the credits or not.
feel asking for a production credit.
Um, it feels like 100% what I want, but also the imposter syndrome. Like, well, I'm not turning the knobs and like I'm not the one that knows how to play all the instruments. What I offer is like direction and guidance and editing.
Sorry, that's rude, but I don't mean they are,
Yeah.
but they're not a boy with a laptop. I
Yes.
think that's what a modern producer is. Basically, what is directing is kind of like what is producing. It's like, this is
Yeah.
my vision, artist. This is a Quentin Tarantino directed movie, and that's what it's going to look like. And I feel like to now compare you first to Rick Rubin and
Yes,
now
of course. This is a so humble. It feels like an important credit and an important space to finally like come into, wholeheartedly.
totally can see somebody's ego like swaying in the wind, like so fragile from 1,000 miles away. But sometimes I'm afraid to ask, not because I don't think I deserve it, not because I think whatever. I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to have to deal with them feeling butthurt and
Yeah.
push and pull. It's like, okay, well, I need to look out for me getting a production credit so that I can be nominated as a producer or do this kind of stuff and pitch myself as a producer. But also, like, I need people to want to collaborate with me again.
Yeah.
And I don't come off as selfish.
Right. The way I turn the word selfish on me is like hilarious. At literally just asking for the bare minimum and communicating a want or need is selfish. Someone isn't willing to share that space with you but wants to work on your project as an artist, like then they're not actually wanting to work on your project as an artist if that's your vision. So,
My last question was going to be like, what does selfish mean to you? But I think you actually clarified something that I've been trying to articulate about why I thought Selfish was such a funny name for an album, because
I think it's like being in touch with who you are and bitchy, which I'm like, I know for a fact I'm not a bitch, but I always worry that I'm a bitch. And also, who cares if I'm a bitch?
Dude, I have been in like fights with every person who is like 0.5 of authority, like crazy ticklish, and with my eyes closed came up to
Oh my
me
god.
in my armpits, and I screamed.
I would
and I
do the same thing. 100%.
I've been a huge bitch this week, and I guess it's, and by bitch, I'm enforcing the rules of society.
Yeah.
Don't when their eyes are closed in their armpits. Are you insane?
With being like, I was on a label and I'm happy that I'm not. I'm like gonna, like, my fear is like, you're gonna be seen as difficult to work with. I'm like, I'm allowed to not want the thing that you're supposed to want.
I mean, period.
Period. But for me, I'm just like, it's not sustainable. And you mentioned like the idea of like struggle, and it's this thing that like our industry glorifies. Like, what is this worth spiritually, and financially, and like all of that.
In the pandemic, where there were times where obviously like there was not a whole bunch going on, and it was so hard to allow myself to enjoy it. And then once I finally got into the rhythm, I was never more creative. My hair was so thick and long, and I know
Yes. My eyelashes, because I wasn't wearing makeup like all the time, my eyelashes got fluffy. My hair was like amazing. I was so not stressed. Yeah, I feel you.
I was glowing. No one ever saw it, but damn, you really like radiate like a grounded peace, and I can really feel that, because I really don't have that.
Yeah, today's a good day. I think the Sunday energy really helps. Enjoy your little life. And I think it's cool to be at home right now. I think it's cool.
All right, well, have a beautiful Sunday. I hope you do absolutely nothing.
Thank you. I plan on it.